Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rum and Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tessie, and we drink and we know things.
Today is Tuesday, April 18th, and it's been a while, everybody. So thanks for hanging with us through our tiny little hiatus. And yeah, we're back. We're going to be catching up on everything that we have been watching. Nate and I have seen the D&D movie. Joe and I have seen the Mario movie, and we will give little mini reviews of those movies, as well as shows that we've been watching. We are going to stay away from The Mandalorian just yet because the finale is tomorrow night, and by the time this releases, we will have passed. So it would sound weird if we did a catch up for now. So we will do a full Mando retro after the finale, probably on our next podcast. But there's plenty to talk about out there, and let's jump in. Joe, let's talk some horror. What do you got?
I finally got to see Men from Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina and Annihilation, two of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Okay.
So Men. The first half of this movie very accurately paints a picture of how a woman feels in a very awkward situation with men, with a lot of weird, shitty men. So if you basically want ever to know how a woman feels in any given situation, watch the first half of this movie. It paints it perfectly.
Okay.
The last half of this movie goes on a weird Cronenberg, like, just ride of, like, it just jukes. And it's like, okay, wow, there's, like, body horror and weird religious things going on here. And it just, like... yeah, I gotta watch it again for sure.
Okay.
Wow, it took a turn, but
yeah.
Good movie? Yeah, I think so.
How many side kittens?
At least 8 side kittens.
Okay, all right.
At least.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, the last 30 minutes are a fucking trip.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, so check that out.
Okay.
I think it was on. There's another thankful from Mr. Soup streaming.
Oh, nice.
But,
nice.
You can get it on Amazon. And
sponsored
wherever.
by.
Right. The Horror Corner is basically sponsored by Mr. Soup at this point.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if you follow him at all on your TikToks, but he changed his whole thing to, I think it's Mr. Soup's Horror Corner or something like that.
Yeah.
And our friend Sarah threw together a quick logo, which looks like a can of Campbell's soup, but the red label is blood. And it has a bearded guy with a monocle on the label. It's great.
Yeah.
Noise.
That's great.
Definitely gotta check that out. So next is Cube, the remake, the 2021 Korean remake of the Cube. I did not like this movie when I first heard about they were doing it. I'm like, the movie's perfect. Don't fuck with it. Don't touch it. Just the 97 movie is perfect.
Yeah.
So I watched this and I was trying to go into it with a very open mind.
Uh-huh.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I will say
Go ahead.
They ham-fisted the story and
a little bit.
Finding out of how the cubes work and things like that.
Yeah.
And it didn't actually bring anything new except for the end a little bit.
Right.
I would still say just watch the 97 Cube. If you want more good Cube goodness after that, then watch this one. Because the sequels for Cube, like Hypercube and Third Quad Cube, whatever they're called, they were not great at all. Like, I would put the original Cube, then this, then the 2 sequels.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this, I watched it. Thank you so much for the suggestion, by the way.
You're very welcome.
But yeah, 90s. No, I agree with you there. I think the 97 one. I mean, even like when there's a 15, 16, 17 year gap between movies, right? I think there needs to be a noticeable sort of improvement either in set design or like improving the story or something. And I agree with you totally there that like I mean the set design on the 97 was just it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so
And
great.
the only difference I could see in this one is the cubes are bigger.
Well, cubes
Like
are bigger
they're
and they're
taller.
but they dumbed down the design too. Like like they had this really ornate not ornate, but those very cool designs in each cube, and they weren't. It wasn't so like I don't want to say mathematical because that's a big part of it, but like
the lighting was
like
there was some like different like colors for the cubes, and it was like substantial lighting and
right
vibe and
but they do that here, but just the design of the inner cubes I think was better and was well. The traps I thought were cool. I thought were great. Again, this as a cube movie, I think it was good, but I agree with you. I think
they had a couple traps where I was like, okay, that's pretty badass.
No, that was
that's like different than the original, and
right,
equally as gory and shocking as the original.
Yeah, but I think that this was it felt like this was done with like a knowledge. I mean, they expected the viewer to have the knowledge of the first one already.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and that's where, and I think that's where they fell down. Like this, I don't think this could stand still on its own without having prior knowledge of the 97 version.
Because like I actually looked to see the runtime of both movies, and they're like 10 minutes apart.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like, because the first one, they took so much longer to put together, like, how the cubes work, how they figured out the trap situation. I'm trying not to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it. But like, there was a little more like detail taken into that journey. And then this one, it was just like, oh, nope, here's how it is. Here's how it is. Like, we assume you've seen the first one. Let's just get on to the gore and to the ending.
Right. Yeah.
So that's my only kind of like caveat with this movie.
Yeah. No,
other than that, I surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Acting good. The little changes that they made and different little like the ending and like different interactions between the characters. It's like, okay, that justifies you making this movie.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, 6.5 side kittens for me.
I would say yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll go 7 for 2 specific traps.
Oh, okay.
Which we could talk about this later.
Okay. All right. No, that's great. Okay. Totally. Anything else in the horror corner?
The new Evil Dead is out, so go see that in theaters.
That's right.
The Pope's Exorcist with what's his name? Russell Crowe.
Oh, right.
In theaters.
Yeah.
So definitely go check that out. Those are 2 on my list to go see.
Okay.
But that's the horror corner.
Now playing at all your grindhouse locations.
Right.
I have a horror adjacent adjacent thing. I finished Evil. I caught up on the Evil situation 3 seasons. Yeah, what a weird, wacky kind of ending for the 3rd season. But I get it. A bunch of stuff. But
yeah.
Give me back my egg, you son of a bitch. I don't know. I can't. Joe, did you watch the show? Because
I have not watched it as far as you have. I think I'm probably
God. Yeah.
Oh, you're way before me. Like I'm 4 episodes in, I think.
Oh my God. I can't believe you haven't like steamrolled through this. It's like stop watching the menu and watch
No, it's Critical Role now.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Nate.
You're welcome. I actually, I approve of that and I understand. Yeah, so wow. Fucking crazy. Like I wasn't expecting like a random hallucinatory titty, but I appreciate it.
Right. Yeah.
And man, the lead actress in that could get it. She's I don't know what it is about her, but I think because she's Dutch. But,
Yeah.
isn't
Katja
that weird?
Herbers.
Yeah, Katja's Herbers. She loves gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, but amazing show, and the
It's so
range
good,
on all
man.
the actors is amazing. I didn't think I was gonna appreciate Asif Mambi's character as much as I do.
Oh
He can
man,
act. I'm
that role, I
super
like.
impressed.
I have a feeling that role was probably written for him. Because
Yeah.
he just owns it so well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, his little side stories are pretty fun too. Like,
Oh yeah.
pardon the pun with the side kitten side story.
Yeah.
We'll let that one sit for Joseph, but good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. Thank you. My girlfriend beat me to it. She
Oh
ran
yeah.
through that season or the series way before I did, but yeah, it's really good. So thanks for that, Recco.
You're welcome.
When's the
I
new
don't
one
know.
come out? Yeah.
As soon they wrapped. I followed them on Instagram and they wrapped filming the 4th season. I want to say 2 months ago.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So
you got
it's on the way. Maybe in the fall, who knows? They'll start releasing episodes.
maybe by Halloween.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with my life now that I've made you watch Evil Nate. I really don't.
You can start badgering me about it.
That's right. Yeah, we can get Joe on the on it and
stop watching Critical Role and watch Evil.
Salt and pepper them both in. You can do that. A little bit of Critical Role, a little bit of Evil. So
yeah, Evil is much more consumable than Critical Role is because Critical Role you can just have in the background and not, just let it run all day. Evil, you kind of got to pay attention a little bit to the visual.
Well, I mean, and you can get you can get Evil done in the time it takes to watch 4 or 5 Critical Role episodes.
Yeah, they're pretty good, especially towards the end.
I don't even want to tell you what number I'm on.
What are you on, Joe?
40 something?
No, you're further than that, aren't you? Didn't you go through the Dorolo arc and all that?
Oh yeah. So I'm just to where they get to Pyra, where they're opening up trying to close the rift where Thordak came through.
Right. And that's where Chris Hardwick's character.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay.
Head to the desk, crying, laughing.
Oh, really? Nice.
Anyway, I digress.
Yes. So that was my quick Evil tangent. So
okay. Nice. No, I'm so glad that you're caught up, and it'll definitely be fun to watch along season 4 with someone as well. Yeah. So excellent. Well done, sir. Well done.
Took several years.
Right. All good. I think I can take the fucking off of the the suggestion sheet now.
Well, no, just put a comma Joe at the end of it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. Nate, you want to grace us with the Marvel Minute?
Grace us. Sure. Yeah, it's been a bit. Out the gate, I know I missed a bunch of stuff since we've been gone for a long time, but
yeah, it's been a while.
Holy Hell, Secret Wars looks amazing.
It does.
I can't wait for that show to come out. It's going to be so good, and it's going to bring back it's got mad Winter Soldier vibes and very Cloak and Dagger shit, and I'm in.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Let's see. MC, there's a lot of stuff that happened. I guess there's a whole Jonathan Majors in flux situation.
So this is interesting, especially in the last couple days.
Yeah, things have changed quite a bit. I mean,
yeah.
Apparently there's a bunch of history of him calling 911 on his girlfriend concerning about her. But there's a lot of stuff. I don't think we know all the facts yet, so I don't really want to make any judgment calls. It always the victim is my initial reaction.
Right.
And then we'll see how things sort out. But it looks like he's not being replaced by Marvel yet. It looks like there's several other things that he is associated with that have already been yanked. So,
I mean, they're in a sort of a tricky situation with that because Loki 2 is essentially in the can, right? That comes out soon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's like a main in that, right?
Well, I'm not sure if he's a main or not. I know a version of Kang is a main, and I think, honestly, I think it's a lot easier than we would imagine to pull him out, considering the whole multiverse angle.
Oh,
But
you could totally explain it out for sure.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's a lot of time and money and all that. But I mean, if
Yeah.
the allegations are true, he definitely needs to get canceled or whatever the terminology is nowadays. But it gets real sticky when like there's these accusations and then they get pulled and then there's
Yeah.
information coming out and then like conflicting stuff. So yeah, I don't. It was just
Well, it's the
new.
Hardwick. It's literally the Hardwick dilemma, right?
Yeah,
With the
yeah,
you
kind
know,
of. Hardwick wasn't like on steroids juicing for a Marvel
no,
movie either, though. So
right, yeah,
yeah,
but again, I mean, essentially canceled for until this played out,
right.
and then sort of
Never
brought
really recovered from it,
not.
actually, right? Like all of his after shows and everything, all that stuff is gone.
No, he still does them.
Is he still doing?
Yeah.
He's still doing
He
Talking Dead.
isn't big on social media anymore.
Yeah, that was.
But he's
that
still
was
doing The Wall and still doing Talking Dead, and it's just he's not like posting on Twitter and Instagram all the time. And
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah.
Rightfully so, I guess. Okay, well, moving on. We'll see how that plays out. Hopefully, everybody's okay physically and mentally.
Yeah.
So pivoting to a feel-good story, Disney Plus releases first ever ASL version of Marvel Studio movie. I thought this was really fucking cool. So Marvel officially announced a new ASL option for the deaf community to experience 2015's Ant-Man. I don't know why they chose this movie, which went live on Disney Plus Friday, April 14th. It's really cool. So there's a viewing option. You'll have an ASL performer in the bottom right corner of the screen, translating all the dialogue throughout the whole movie for those who are hard of hearing or deaf. I just thought this was a really cool thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they chose Ant-Man. I'm not really sure why, but I would love to get like some excerpts of what the translator's doing for like the fart jokes and stuff. You know how
Right.
you have to like when you get an ASL translator for like when they're performing live in concert and WAP comes on, like they actually have to perform all that shit. So
Right.
it'd be funny to see how that goes out. But I just thought this was a great story, and it's about time, and it's very cool, and hopefully that becomes more prevalent. So
I would just like to see the Michael Pena sequences all
Mhm.
done.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely have to catch up and do that very quickly.
Yeah.
Let's see. New data reveals Marvel's most successful movie of 2022. So, I have to zoom in. Enhance.
Zoom. Enhance.
Let's see. So, officially, Doctor Strange 2 made the most money for Marvel in 2022. The most profit, actually, let's see. Box office profit and revenue. Wow. Okay, so I actually have a chart that's breaking all this stuff down. So they almost hit $1 billion for Doctor Strange 2, which is
wow. That's
worth
it. Yeah, exactly. 950.
No, I'm serious.
Million. Yeah, good flick. Black Panther 2, 855 million. And they ended up profiting 259 million, and then Thor 4 box office was 780 million. But that thing was more expensive than both of those other movies. So it only made $103 million in profit, like pure profit.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, Doctor Strange 2, Electric Boogaloo took 2022. And that meant I kind of rhymed, but not really.
Right. Yeah.
So another kind of horror adjacent thing, Marvel Studios' Blade reboot cast breakout horror star, even though we're not a huge fan of Mia Goth anymore because it's like the same thing over and over. She's going to be in the new Blade movie with Mahershala Ali and others. There were some interesting thoughts about who she could play, potentially like Dracula's daughter Lilith in the DCU. There's also the Mother of Demons take on Lilith from the Black Suns video game that just came out a little while ago. It came out a while ago, so could be a cool recurring big bad situation if they want to merge things. But I don't know. I think it's cool. I like the fact that it's a big get for Marvel as far as the horror fans go and that kind of thing. So I think it'll be cool. That movie is actually supposed to start shooting on May 30th. So
Hey,
Okay.
my birthday.
Maybe we'll actually get something going. Yay! Happy pre-birthday. Let's see what else we got here. So Avengers Infinity War has a 45-minute Thanos sequence that was removed. It's basically how he got the Power Stone from Xandar.
Oh,
He starts the
okay.
movie with it, right, where he's tearing apart Thor's ship.
Oh, right.
So there's this whole 45-minute sequence that was apparently shot
really?
in animatic, but not fully animated. They didn't spend the money to actually finish it digitally and
Oh,
animate
wow.
everything. So it'd be interesting to see if that ever gets revealed, maybe as a bonus on something. But I'd love to see that, because that movie, it would have been hard for that movie to be longer, but
Right.
worth it, I think, to see him ravage Xandar, because that was like the whole point of Guardians of the Galaxy when they saved it from the Power Stone.
Yeah.
The dance off that saved the universe. So
I hope they release some part of it. There was I back when I was buying DVDs. This was a while ago. Joe,
Way
I
back
don't know if I don't know if I ever showed you this, but on 28 Days Later, there was a alternate ending from a certain point of the movie that they just storyboarded out, but they ended up doing the storyboards with this really like great like voiceover of the characters and everything, and it was one of the most like fascinating watches. I've watched it maybe like 5 or 6 times, and it's
I
like it
don't
was,
remember that. I don't think we either.
dude. If I
You
can,
didn't
if
show
I
it to me, or I totally forgot it.
okay, if I
Which
can
both
find
are
it, I'll send
possible.
if I can find it somewhere, I'll send it to you, because it's a fascinating watch. And like,
Mhm.
I didn't think watching storyboards and voiceover would be that exciting to watch, but it is. So like, I hope some version of this gets released somehow, somewhere.
yeah, it looks
Soon.
like it exists on Vimeo, and it looks like YouTube maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Right on. Very cool. Let's see. Deadpool 3 cast another major X-Men hero. So we got the word that Stefan is coming back as Colossus from Deadpool 2 and 1, and then also Marina Baccarin is coming back as Vanessa. So that'll be cool to see them back in that. I really hope they bring back Super Negasonic Teenage Warhead and
Oh yeah.
what was the girl with the electric whips from the second one? Yukio.
Oh right.
I want to see all of them again, because they're great.
Mhm.
I need to watch that movie again. Actually, I love those. Let's see. Disney's X-Men reboot gets discouraging release date update. Boo. So X-Men 97 was supposed to come out this fall. It looks like it's getting rumored to be getting pushed into 2024, undisclosed time. So
Oh,
I'm not
poops.
sure why. Yeah, super bummer, because I've been hard jonesing for this. I'm gonna have to go through and watch the series, because apparently it's supposed to pick up right where the original cartoon left off. So
Okay.
see what happens. That'll be cool. Marvel teased its own upcoming Comic-Con event, so AvengerCon is going to be a thing.
Nice.
AvengerCon from the game, yeah, it's going to actually be a thing. So they might redo the name, obviously, to be a little more inclusive, but
Right.
they're talking seriously about having their own Comic-Con level Marvel event, which makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to get all that stuff under one roof, games and TV and movies and all that stuff.
Right.
That's really, really smart. Let's see. James Gunn teases Marvel DC crossover possibility now that he's a studio exec. So this is a really cool quote, actually. So Gunn noted how there's always a possibility for that to happen, but the focus right now is on making each of the respective universes as strong as possible, obviously. So quote,
Yeah.
I think there's always the possibility of that. I think that'd be a fun thing for fans to see. I do think it's just about grounding the universes now, but he's also very close friends, and he talks all the time with Kevin Feige. So he also explained how while there is some rivalry between the superhero companies, they both have the same goal to embolden the movie-going experience. They've done this very successfully a few times in comic book history, a few times not so successfully. Considering the state of animation and special effects and the superhero genre, I guarantee you this will happen. I just hope it isn't like the moment where it jumps a shark.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll see, because it's super saturated as far as the market goes. People are burned out on it, but the super comic book nerds, I think, are still here for all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
especially when it comes to their respective universes. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's really all I grabbed from April. There's a lot, so
Okay.
I know there's
Okay.
definitely things I missed, but yeah.
Still no. Well done. Okay, so let's move on to my segment, and I've never really enjoyed the name of my segment, so until I think of a better thing, a better name for it, I'm just going to call it "Shit You Should Be Watching."
Why, you didn't like streaming service, which sounds like a golden shower pay to play?
Right? No, exactly, exactly. Yeah, like I just wasn't, really want to. I don't know, and I was having I listened to myself say it on the podcast, and I just it never sounded right. So
she gives the best streaming service, believe me.
There's stuff.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Anyway, so shit you should be watching. Here we go. The Ark on Sci-Fi. This is an interesting show because there's no huge name attached. I don't know that there's source material for it. There might be. But man, it's a good show. Like, it was one of those shows where after the first show, you're like, that's not terrible, but we'll give it the 3-show watch, right? Every show you give it 3 shows. It's not good by the 3rd show. You can probably let it go.
Yeah.
After the 3rd show, we were hooked. Jamie and I love this show. It is a sort of immediate watch for us after it comes out on Wednesday nights, and the season 1 finale is happening this week. So it's essentially the Earth is screwed, and they are sending out massive arcs to the next nearby habitable planet. And just like any sort of long voyage, they're asleep, something bad happens, they need to wake up, and they need to
fix shit.
Fix stuff. We thought it was going to be like this weird, something wrong with the ship every week episode. It's not that, thankfully. And but one of the cool things that they do is one of the sections that gets damaged, and this happens in the first 10 minutes of the show, so I'm not giving anything away, is the entire command deck of where all the command people were sleeping gets wiped out. So
the blue screen of death.
Awesome.
So highest ranking officer on the ship now is like a lieutenant, that was sort of forced into the position, and they're trying to figure everything out and trying to get everything going. So the graphics, this is a sci-fi show. They could be a lot better, but still, it's a solid watch. The writing's really good, and I think it's like I said, it's a night of watch for us when it comes out. Gotham Knights on the CW. This is one of those shows that as soon as I saw the trailer, I'm just like, I'm not gonna watch it. Like, this is probably never gonna.
A night song in the back of my head right now.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. But no, I just didn't think I was gonna give it the time. And so we were watching Superman and Lois, which is fantastic, by the way. I think they're in season 3 right now. We're a couple episodes in, and it's still really good. But then we saw that this was coming up afterwards, right? And so Jamie and I decided to give it a shot. And again, 3-episode watch, right? You got to give it 3 episodes. First episode, we were just like, all right, that's kind of okay.
That's a great look. I wish people could see the look. You're like, all right,
yeah.
Why does it smell like baby shit in here?
Right? No, and so it was funny because they're not focusing on any lore, right? They're adjusting the lore sort of to their writing, so they're not really using they're referencing there are some established characters in the DC universe that are there, right? But the the main cast of the show are completely new people to the universe. So so it's like throwing everything you know about Batman sort of out the window, right? You're good watching this show. So it was funny. First show we were just like, oh, we'll give it another shot. Second show, I said this to Jamie. Said I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's like
it's American cheese.
Right. No, exactly. Like I don't not like this show. You know?
Your English teacher rolling over.
It's not The Last of Us, but it's not The Worst of Us.
Right, exactly. Yeah. No, I am I'm sorry, Mr. Church, for that double negative. So by the third show, we were just like, oh, this ain't bad. This is pretty damn good. So
question.
Yeah.
This is on my radar just because of Misha Collins.
Okay.
On that front, should I
hold on.
Watch it or not?
Who?
Castiel from Supernatural is supposed to be in Gotham Knights, I believe.
Oh yeah. So this is funny. Yeah. So he plays Harvey Dent.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so funny because he looks so much like Ben McKenzie, who just got off of Gotham playing Jim Gordon, right? So I thought it was really funny that they cast an actor that looks a lot like Ben McKenzie playing Harvey Dent. But other than that, they just introduced the Two-Face aspect of his character. They're not doing a traditional sort of take on Two-Face, which is cool. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, damn it, I'm watching it.
Yeah, no, for
Misha.
He's very green in the first few episodes, but I think Jamie and I are in episode 4, episode 5 right now, and they are really starting to ramp up his storyline. So, and it's like I said, it's a very interesting take on Two-Face, and it's got.
I can't even imagine him as. I can kind of imagine him as Two-Face, but
so they're not necessarily doing it as Gotham was realized in like a more real sort of Gotham and less comic booky, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is painting that picture as well. So again, when I say Two-Face, don't think of it as traditional Tommy Lee Jones, like, you know,
don't expect
don't expect half and half, expect something
a little different.
So, but it's like I said, it's a solid watch. If you have any affinity for Gotham as a whole, it's done really well. The girl playing the Joker's daughter is really good. She's nutty and crazy, but yeah, the little group that forms to become the Knights of Gotham I think it's put together really well. And they're doing a Court of Owls storyline to start off.
Cool.
Yeah, which has been the underlying. So Bruce Wayne bites it in the very first episode with thrown out of Wayne Tower.
Spoilers, gosh.
First 10 minutes. Wearing just like a business suit, but then the bat mask, and then has a Court of Owls coin on him, and that starts the whole thing. So, all right, that's all I'm gonna say about Gotham Knights. If you get a chance, watch it. It's pretty good. I think we're in episode 6 coming up this week. Sit down, guys, for a second. I'm sorry to put you through this, but I got to talk Star Trek Picard for a little bit. Season 3. If you have any sort of love for Star Trek The Next Generation, stop what you're doing and watch Star Trek Picard Season 3. You don't need to watch.
Hard pass.
You don't need to watch Season 1 and Season 2. You can start with Season 3, and you will get caught up. there are elements where things may be a little confusing, but they explain it enough for you. This season of Picard is a love letter to the Next Generation. Now, when they initially came out and said that they were going to do a Star Trek Picard series, the one thing that brought Patrick Stewart back was that it wasn't going to be a continuation of the Next Generation. It was going to be sort of a separate story. This being the final season of Picard, they have kind of they have worked in the Next Generation cast without it necessarily being a continuation of the final bit of where they landed at the end of the series. Now, what they're doing, like good Star Trek always does, is they focus on an episode, a really good episode of my cat decided to come say hi. Sorry.
Why does your cat look like Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon?
Right. Yeah.
Bat wings for sure.
I know, right? We got her little bat wings for Halloween. She did not like those.
She's a cat.
Anyway, yeah, she's a cat. She doesn't like stuff on her. Anyway, they're focusing on the best of both worlds episodes where Picard turns into Locutus of Borg, and they're running a very deep-seated sort of storyline within that. So there's a lot of First Contact notes, which was the best Next Generation movie by far, I think. And they have pulled out sort of all the slots, and the finale is this week. They're even showing the finale in IMAX studio, like IMAX cinemas.
Awesome.
Yeah. Trying so hard. The closest one we have is 44 miles away. A little bit too far of a drive on a Thursday night. But cameos from the Next Generation are so many in here just for this. Again, all of the main cast, with the notable exception of Will Wheaton, who's still running the after show, thank God, on this. And then some great additions, as always. Amanda Plummer plays the villain for the first half of the season, which she's just incredible. Todd Stashwick plays the sort of salty captain of the USS Titan that gets appropriated for use by John Luke and William Riker. The Next Generation cast looks fantastic and is fantastic in this. Also, Misha Burton, LeVar Burton's daughter, plays his daughter in this.
That's so awesome. I love that.
It's so great. And so I can't, like, I'm gonna say something that will probably get me thrown off of this podcast. But anyway. So we're and it's funny that they've sort of come out week to week. And this year in particular, we're getting new Star Wars and new Star Trek. New Star Wars on Wednesday, new Star Trek on Thursday nights, right? And they're both sort of hearkening back to older stories that have been told but are being not necessarily retold, but are being expanded upon right now. I hate to say that I'm more excited for Thursday nights than I have been for Wednesday nights.
I mean, obviously, you're a Star Trek fanboy like I'm a Marvel fanboy.
Yeah, right. But there's just something about the season. I would be like, and I want to just send a really great shout out to my friend Hera, who I have been talking Picard with recently, because she's just as excited about Picard as I am, and we have adopted the holy shit text as to not to disturb anybody who has not seen it yet. So Obviously, if you haven't
Nice.
seen it yet, all you need to do is text "Holy shit, Picard" to
Right.
know that you're missing a incredible episode and you need to watch it as soon as possible. So,
Is that where we failed with you, Joven? We didn't holy shit Mando?
I got the holy shit. It was just the
yeah,
cards didn't align on that one.
right.
We're gonna have to timestamp your Critical Role consumption.
Well, no, I actually have a life outside from all that.
But anyway, here, like I said, Star Trek Picard season 3 is sort of everything a Star Trek fan wanted out of Star Trek. There's a sort of finality to the next generation storyline, if you will, and more. So, wow. On that note, I just heard today that we're getting a Star Trek Section 31 movie, which is basically Star Trek Secret Service with Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, I saw that.
reprising her role as the captain from Discovery. So that's going to be incredible. So yeah, Star Trek Picard. Again, if you have any affinity for the next generation, watch this because you're missing out on some of the best Star Trek that has ever been told. On that note, I can get off my my Star Trek podium and we can start talking about the two movies that 2/3 of us have seen.
That's ridiculous. Like, we're gonna give you partial review, understanding, highlights ish.
Right. Yeah. So I know that Joe, you brought up Critical Role. So I kind of want to discuss Dungeons and Dragons first, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Okay, Nate. I've been talking for a while, and you are, as an active D&Der.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get your thoughts because I know that you weren't that excited about this movie coming out to begin with.
Well, cautiously optimistic would be giving it a little too much credit.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anyone who knows. Every D&D movie before this has been terrible.
Awful. Right.
Yeah, and not like intentionally slapsticky like Your Highness or something like that.
Right.
It's been awful. And Jeremy Irons aside, it's been terrible. No, I was pleasantly surprised. I was actually really shocked at how much I liked it. I really want to see it again, actually, to try to catch a lot of the things that I missed. There's so many great videos breaking down all the different little hidden things. But my favorite moment is basically the beginning of the movie, and obviously we're going to be spoiling things here. But you find out that the main character, played by Chris Pine, was a Harper at one point in time, which is this secret society that basically is trying to prevent world-ending calamities and defeat evil across the continent. And funny enough, that's Addie's middle name is Harper, and that's why, actually.
No way, really?
Yeah,
Seriously?
Well, that's it was trying to figure out the middle name, saw it in a magazine and suggested it. It got the thumbs up, and while I was like, at the same time, I'm like, it's a D&D thing too. Oh my god, it's like a D&D thing. So I've been trying to figure out. I've been wanting to get a tattoo, like an Addie themed tattoo, for a really long time, but didn't want it to be like super cheesy, like it's her, astrological sign with her birthday in it or something like that, which would still be fine. But I want to get. I have a very stylized version of the Harper symbol from one of my old D&D books that I think I want to get done. That'll be really cool. But anyway, so I was pleasantly surprised, and we saw this movie with Addie and her best friend, and Annie and two of her boys, and I'm sitting next to Addie, and as soon as that storyline starts explaining itself, I'm like, like poking her in the shoulder. So, yeah. Anyway,
that's
super
great.
Fun. Yeah, it's a really fun fantasy adventure set in a very fan service filled
Mhm.
fantasy D&D world. Basically, it's the Forgotten
Yeah.
Realms, which is the main D&D world, and they show like there's this whole map flyover at the beginning, and I'm like telling Addie, "Oh my god, that's where that's such book I read to you was," and oh my god, that's such and such. So they do a really good job of like giving you all the fan service, but not requiring any of it, not requiring any pre-knowledge of D&D. It's really just a fun fantasy romp is really the
Right.
best way to say it.
Yeah.
Chris Pine is perfect in this role. I was really kind of like, really? I think he's gonna mail it in. He doesn't really mail it in. He's like
No, he was
dancing
on.
and singing in certain parts and like
Yeah.
ironically with the loot, but then also fighting and stuff. The characters are all great. Michelle Rodriguez is awesome as the barbarian.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of cameos that I don't know if we should spoil, but oh my god, the cameos are perfectly timed and
Yeah.
pretty amazing. Hugh Grant actually kind of mailed it in a little bit, but also kind of didn't. I think he did
Yeah.
a pretty good job. Kind of standout characters for me were the two kind of lesser knowns. I'm trying to remember the names. Did it Justice Smith, although he's not really lesser known, and
Right.
Sophia Lillis as the
Tiefling.
sorcerer and the tiefling,
Yeah.
druid, respectively. I thought they were really good. And then also like the main bad chickie, Daisy Head as Sophina, she was creepy.
Oh, yeah.
And there was actually some really dark moments in this, like darker than I expected
Yeah.
moments. But then also just some amazing slapstick, like the speak with dead spell, which is legitimately
Oh, man, that was
that's
so
how
good.
it works in a legitimate D&D world where you get 5 questions.
Yeah.
And of course you kind of knew where it was headed, where
Right.
they're talking to
Yeah.
each other and the thing's responding like yes.
Yeah.
And then, like, long story short, Joe, they have to try and find this artifact, and so they go to this battlefield with this speak with dead spell. You get 5 questions from one dead thing, and then it dies forever, and you can't use the spell on it again. So they're at a battlefield with all these corpses, just going around to different coffins, popping them open, talking to different people, like, "Oh, I think I remember it was over there," and then, blah, blah. And so the catch is if you don't ask the 5th question, the thing just sits there waiting for the 5th question in
Yeah.
undeath, just like sitting up. And so by the time they're getting fed up with it, they just start asking random questions at the end to
Yeah.
finish the 5 questions. They're like, "What's 2 plus 2? I'm bad at math," and it dies.
The very first guy they resurrect, though,
Mhm.
I love that they because they're trying to figure out how to use it, and like, wait,
Mhm.
that counts as a question?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. They're
It
talking
was
to
so
each
good.
other and the corpse is answering because it's
Yeah.
They did a really good job with some of the beasts. There wasn't enough of certain ones, but Holy Fat Dragon has
Oh
a place.
man, that sequence was
Jobin,
so
yeah,
good.
I guarantee you're gonna want a Fat Dragon plushie after you see this,
Yeah.
because even the commercials don't really do it justice. Like it's in it
No.
quite a bit. And Thunder Charred, Ember Charred, I forget the name of the dragon, but
Yeah.
basically it has devoured so much that it's pudgy. It can't really fly,
Right.
and it's rolling down
Aw.
hills of bones and coins
Right,
to
yeah,
crush
because
people.
it trips over the thing. I was just like,
Oh
oh
god,
god, that
it's
was so
hilarious.
great. Yeah.
But I mean,
Did he eat
ultimately,
his last layer?
yeah, exactly. Ultimately, it's a really kind of it's just a fun fantasy romp that has a lot of fan service and a lot of kind of cheesy jokes, but also some really kind of poignant moments. And overall, it's just a fun movie. And unfortunately, it's pretty like derivative of your typical like fantasy tropes. But that
Yeah.
was the point, and I think they
Yeah.
kind of gave you they kind of get hinted at that on purpose, so you knew what to expect. So you
Yeah.
basically go in expecting exactly what they delivered, which is why it's so damn successful. Like it's at 90% fresh on the tomato meter from the critics and 93%
Yeah.
audience score with over 2,500 verified ratings.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's super fun.
Yeah. Yeah. For someone who doesn't have sort of a richer D&D background, like both of you, I like I said, I loved it. I thought it was great. And just from that sort of point of view, like it appealed to me in a way that I could see it appealing to the general public, you know. That being said, like the things that I did like appreciate were sort of those little nuance. I thought the paladin was perfect.
Renee
Like,
Page, yeah.
oh man, just
Irony
like his
that cuts the wheel to the boat.
right. I mean, literally every line he delivers is just like on point for the character, and like
very
great,
snarky,
and so like
holier than thou,
yeah. So I just thought that was that whole aspect of it, and again, I thought the story that they were telling in this world I thought was really good and was really well done. But yeah, I totally dug it. I thought it was great. It was again, you walk out of the theater, at least for me, sometimes asking yourself if it was worth the money, to go see it. And I didn't have that thought at all walking out. We loved it, and I was
worth the theater watch.
No, totally, yeah. Just for some of those bigger than life sequences,
right? When they're in the Underdark or in the the dwarven, whatever the lava place is where Thumberchard lives or whatever.
Right.
It's just visually stunning. Yeah.
Really well done. So and they didn't skimp on the effects at all either. I thought it was
they went pretty hard with the effects. Like they did a great job with the displacer beasts in the maze, and then the gelatinous cube and the mimic that was the chest, and they did a good job with that. And then even Joe, do you remember because you went through the Underdark adventures with Critical Role at the beginning, did they have to fight intellect devourers in that at all? Like the brains with legs, the brain dogs with legs, they're called intellect devourers.
No, they had
mind flares, and they
had flares and
beholder, I think, and a bunch
the beholder,
of
and then the the little weird brain things.
I think that was I think this was the brain things. Basically they're called intellect devourers, and they go after the most intelligent beings, and then basically eat the brains and replace themselves into the brain cavities and puppet the critters. And there's this whole just silly scene where they're on this high ledge overlooking Menzoberranzan in the Underdark, and these 3 brains with legs, they're fucking nasty in the actual D&D campaign, just to start walking towards them on this ledge, and they're like, oh god, it attacks the things with the most intellect, and it's just it's what's going to happen. They just walk on by. It's like it's like a family of them. Just walk by them, don't even pay them any attention. And you're like, well, I don't know whether to be insulted or relieved.
Well, doesn't Pine just say, oh man, well that's hurtful?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But good times.
Yeah. Okay. With that, let's move into Mario.
Dun 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 dun.
Joe, what do you think of Mario?
Okay, I feel bad for everybody that was in the theater with me on this, because so I went to this with Mousy and her 7-year-old kid. Sorry. But we were cackling so bad through this whole movie. Like everybody else was silent for the most part, and we're like, because like we both played Mario forever, and she immediately was like, we're going, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're going. And it was hilarious, it was fun, it was like awesome. I was a little like the first part of the movie where it was like Mario in the real world, I was like, oh, this is lame. Let's get to the good shit. Once he got into the Mushroom Kingdom, I'm like, yes, this is perfect. I love this movie. It was so awesome.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think this was done really well. Chris Pratt's voice didn't bug me that much. I thought it would bug me more. It
didn't bug me. It freaked me out because it was seriously like Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
That's all I heard.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so weird.
Right.
And
right.
like even Mousy like hit me. She's like, is that Billy Crystal? And I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah. No, I thought it was done. I thought this was done really well. I thought it was a very good, like except the Pedro Pascal SNL trailer aside,
Right.
like you can't I think Mario exists for animation and this type of movie.
And they did it really right.
Yeah, it does. I don't think it will ever translate into a live action anything.
No.
Right? Yeah.
They did perfect fan service for like. Well, I will say this: it's a love letter to if you've played all the Mario games, if you're into Nintendo as a whole.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna love this movie if you've played like Mario Party, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart. If you're into all of that, you're gonna love this movie so much.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, they really, and not just necessarily, it's not just necessarily a movie set in the Mario world and going over any sort of storyline, but I mean, it does take you on sort of your journey with Mario as well, and especially when they're doing the training sequence with him and the princess. Like, you have to go through the levels 100 times to get it right. Like I just thought I thought that was really funny. Like I really appreciated that part because it was like, oh yeah, I had to do
this is how it feels playing the game.
You're
gonna have to make the same jump 30 times until you actually nail it.
Right. Yeah. So I totally appreciated that part of it. Yeah, and then man, Jack Black is Bowser.
Oh man.
Like, so, like there's some times where he just goes like a little too over the top, but like he was perfect here.
Yeah,
he was great. And goddamn, I can't get the song out of my head. I can't get the song out of my head.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Nate, go watch this.
Go check it out if you can. Once the back
like do the $5 Tuesday if you have to. Just go.
Yeah. It's such a solid watch. You won't be upset with it, and it's good. It's really good.
And there's a lot of Easter eggs.
I mean, yeah, literal Easter eggs.
Easter eggs.
Yeah, his song debuted on the Hot 100.
Right. No, yeah.
E3 on the Hot 100.
And it's right in my head.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. So after the movie, like we get out of the theater, and my friend's like 6-7-year-old daughter was like, "Can we go back home and play Mario?" And I'm like my heart kind of broke a little bit because I was like, "No, we have stuff to do." But God, that's all I wanted to do is go home and play Mario.
Oh man! So there's a one of the redeeming factors of Salem, Oregon right now is right downtown. There's a movie theater called the Cinnabar, and it's the ones where you can order, food and booze during the movie, right? Which is great. But they put a Mario Brothers arcade cabinet right outside of the theater.
What?
And so Xander was like, "Oh, Daddy, can we play this?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's play this. Let's do this." Right. And so,
yes, of course.
Right. No, yes, young one, learn, right. And so anyway, teaching him how to play it, and he's Mario, I'm Luigi. We're getting like we both died very quickly in the very first round. Second round, we got to I want to say the crabs, and then Xander lost, and then I went on a tear. Got through like the second or third ice level, and then I died, but then I got the top score in the on the cabinet, which was cool. So thank you. Yeah.
Golf clap.
Right. Yeah. So, but anyway, no, it's again such a good movie, such a great watch. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Just because I don't know that the trailers didn't necessarily paint the at least for me didn't paint a good sort of like it just seemed like Mario like everywhere, like the trailer did that. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it ended up being for me. So,
and I didn't either, because like honestly,
Yeah.
I really wasn't going to go watch it until like my friend was like, "No,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going to watch this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we made it
we
into the
were both
parking
just
lot.
dying.
We were in the parking lot on Sunday to go see it at Veranda, and that's when my back went out on me. So I had to limp home and miss the movie. Fandango also wouldn't give me a refund because I was sitting in their support queue for like 10 minutes, and then the showtime elapsed. And so they're like, "Sorry, sir. After the showtime starts, we're and I've called everybody. I've written emails. Like, there's
man,
to write off $40 worth of movie tickets and never
You
use
know they're-
Fandango again.
they're waiting for you, right? Like you can see it. Oh, Nate Tussey on line 3, showtime at 1:00. We're gonna answer his call at 1:01.
There was 7 people ahead of us, and then there were 4 people for like 10 minutes, almost 6 minutes or something like that.
Man.
By the time we got somebody on the fucking chat, it was too late on their end.
Yeah.
Yeah, really fucking bullshit. Fuck Fandango.
Right. Any more on Mario, Joe?
No, I think I'm good.
No.
Yeah, just go watch it. If you have any affinity for Mario at all in any capacity, go watch it.
Yeah, it's such a solid watch. It's really good. All right. I have a quick little gaming thing to bring up. And this is weird. So the family has been gaming co-op for the last month. For the last hour of the night before Xander goes to bed. We have discovered this game called Unrailed. Have you guys heard about this?
Mm-mm.
All right. So Unrailed, you are you're building train tracks to get the train to the station. You got to cut through trees, you got to cut through walk. You have to make the tracks on the train to get the train through. Xander found this game. He's looking for a new game to play. And I sat down and played it with them. You can play cross-platform, which is good, right? And you can have people come in, you can play online with people. And it is such a highly addictive, fun game. You have, like you're going through a forest to begin with, but then like you can go underwater, or you can go through the Wild West, or you can go through the snow, right? And each sort of biome presents its own little challenges and everything. You can get to space and build in space, and you have little jetpacks and you're flying through everything. It's just it's such a fun, addictive game. Like, we're gonna play after we hang up here.
What's the name again?
It's called Unrailed.
All right.
It should be a pretty cheap game. It's such a simple game, but it's so fun. I just like chopping trees and mining the rocks to get the iron to build the stuff. Xander likes making the tracks and building everything, and then Jamie's sort of support for either, which is great. So we all have our little jobs, and then you can upgrade your train to to do different things, to hold more resources, to build tracks faster and everything. And it's such a fun game. If you guys get the chance to check it out, just to play a demo, because there was a demo available before we bought it, and it took you through, I think, the first 2 biomes.
It was free on the Epic Game Store last year. So the question
really?
is, did I remember to grab it? Don't know.
Yeah. It's so much fun. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. So yeah. What? Okay. I have been informed by my son that it is $20 currently on that stuff. So
thank you, Xander.
Yeah, you're welcome. He should be in the shower, but he is not. Do we have anything else?
No.
Any other tidbits?
I don't think so. Oh, watch Ted Lasso. It's amazing this season.
Oh,
you haven't had a
okay.
chance to watch it yet. It's really good. Annie came over yesterday and kind of took care of me all day, and we mainlined the 5 episodes that were available.
Yeah, I watched the pilot
really good.
a couple weeks ago, and it was really good. So
You haven't watched Ted Lasso?
no.
Oh my God! Come on, Andy.
Sorry.
Is this going to be the next thing on our list in all caps?
Fucking Ted Lasso.
Yeah, there you go.
Jesus
there you go.
Christ.
Did you guys watch the Tetris movie?
No,
I heard that was really good. It's on my list.
Dude, it's so good.
I've heard it's really good.
It's very good. Yeah.
Nice.
No, not what you expect out of a but it's
yeah,
solid.
I heard it's like a fun thriller type.
It is.
No, like edge of your seat stuff.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right. Nothing else?
No, I think I'm good.
That's it. That's all.
Damn.
All right. So what did you guys think of the Dungeons and Dragons movie if you saw it? What did you guys think of Mario if you saw it? Next time, Rum and Regret, we're going to be talking Mandalorian. So be prepared for that, because it will probably have some very heated discussion over Star Wars.
No.
Yeah.
Heated.
I don't know.
Oh
anyway,
my.
let us know what you guys thought of the D&D movie. Let us know what you thought of the Mario movie. Again, you can find us on the socials at Facebook, Rum and Regret Podcast, on Twitter at rum_regret. Nate, where can they find you?
Sure, Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer on all the socials and your gaming platforms of choice.
Joe, where can they find you?
At Joe Chickadee, or on all the socials, or at joechickadee.com.
You can find me at Andrew Drake on Twitter, at Crazy Drake on Facebook. And until the next time, we have spoken. Peaches, 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 peaches.
Yes!
Peaches,
You're the worst. That was
peaches,
gonna be my closer.
Peaches, peaches, peaches.
And it's peaches, 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 peaches.
You haven't even seen the movie, Nate.
I
Come on, Nate, you're not allowed. You're
I
not
watched
allowed.
the video. I watched.
You're not allowed.
Not allowed.
That's why it would have been such a great closer. God damn it.